Almost everyone is familiar with aloe vera. It is a popular ingredient in skin lotion and suntan preparations. It is sold as a part of a beauty product and is actually native of Africa. I remember my mother and my grandmother cutting the leaves were both perpendicular and vertically and use the clear substance to disinfect wounds, to help with rashes and any other skin issue we had. I could always rely that I would feel better once my mom put aloe on my skin, as it seemed to also relieve the wound pain, specifically cuts. I remember them showing me how to cut it, explain the uses. However, at that time, I had little interest in learning. It was certainly an art. Good morning, friends. If you don't know who I am, my name is Jessica, and I engage in conversations about weight loss, weight-related diseases, education, and how to achieve weight loss in an affordable way that honors your way of living. As per Chevalier, the leaf of the aloe has 2 different products and 5 different constituents. If I did not explain before what a constituent is the active ingredient of a plant marked, definable, and physiological that have some sort of medical activity upon the body. So like a tannins and all these things that is kind of hard for me to explain. While I do not believe that it would be effective to deep dive into each constituent, I do want to separate 2 useful parts of the aloe, which are really typically used in mainstream medicine. There are the gel and the latex. The latex is made of a peroxylic cell, and the gel is from a parenchymatose cell. Okay, either one shows up depending on how you cut and how you handle the leaf. The interesting thing to observe is when it comes to digesting aloe, which is typically the yellow part of the taste, it is to actually help with constipation. In terms of taste, though, it is bitter and sour, and it has a sour odor that can apparently produce nausea. The main efficacy to using the aloe gel is because of its antibacterial, antiviral, and antifungal activity. It does have other uses, obviously, as before, as a laxative to treat ulcers and as a general first aid tool. Extensive research has been done on the plant since the 1930s. The clear gel has a dramatic ability to heal wounds, ulcers, and burns, putting a protective coat on the affected area and speeding the rate of healing. This action is in part due to the presence of alofectin B, which stimulates the immune system. Aloe is excellent for burns, scrapes, scalds, and sunburns, obviously. The leaf is broken off and releases a gel, which is applied to the affected area. We've talked about that before. Interestingly enough, the tincture is used to stimulate appetite, and it can be taken before meals to increase obviously appetite. I must note that it does take skill to know how to cut this plant, as the authors in both books noted that the bitter yellow juice from the base of the leaves, which I believe is the latex, is restricted in some countries, and it is not to be used on the skin. This specifically goes for pregnant ladies or pregnant people and breastfeeding people. it would be interesting to be shown how to actually cut it properly, and how to actually and what to look for when it comes to cutting it and handling such a plant, since I truly do not recommend us doing it on our own, because I'm also a novice and learning with you. And if you note that right there, that's the yellow part, and that's how you handle the yellow part. But if you go up and look at the top, you'll see that that's the gel. So, and two different uses, but you know, when I was deep diving into like the cost, it seemed like actually having the plant and growing the plant and making sure that the plant is healthy, the cost wise, it is actually much more cost effective to actually keep a plant. However, I think that unless you get a really nice education on how to handle it, because as soon as I saw that there was that yellow thing going on and all that stuff, I'm like, oh, I don't know if I'm capable of dealing with these things. But I thought it was a really, really fascinating topic to explore, especially since I grew up with it, and I grew up with a plant, and my mom used to cut it, and she used to treat me with it, and or you know, my sister and I, and she used to show me how to use it, but little interest. Anyway, I wish you health and happiness, and please always check with your healthcare provider before you attempt any additions to these herbal things and your medication.